Today in the crypto space, we see a nice push to the upside. Bitcoin recovering up approximately 5%, and Ethereum doing very well, right around $3,800. The rest of the crypto space, these altcoins are deep in the green. We have Solana, BGB, and many others climbing to much higher levels. However, guys, the question is, are we going to get that retracement, or are we going to be blasting right through and continuing this bull run? In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project that's showing strength right now, and that project is called SUI. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this market. We can see that overall we're seeing a bit of a recovery here. The market cap is up approximately 5%, back to about $3.8 trillion. You can see that doing pretty good. What's concerning me here at the current moment is the trading volume. There is no or little volume or diminishing amounts of volume while the market cap is rising, and as the prices of these cryptos are rising, which leads me to believe that there's not a lot of market participation, unfortunately, right? So this is what concerns me, is that ultimately this pump could be a temporary one, and it's all based on volume. Now, it could be that all of a sudden we start getting an increase in volume and we continue to the upside. That's possible. Sure, I could see a bit of FOMO after Bitcoin starts breaking levels, and and so on, and we could see trading volume increase and a continuation up. That is very possible, but at the current moment, without trading volume, this price action doesn't have the strength to sustain it, and that kind of bothers me here to get into a risky positions. So you can see Bitcoin doing pretty good. We're going to take a look at the Bitcoin price in a second, and then we'll jump right into the SUI chart as well. I like to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator to kind of inform my trading, to inform the market analysis, and then focus on a particular altcoin to see that relationship. Right now, Bitcoin is looking good. We have Ethereum, still making a lower high, guys, and Bitcoin is also. So this keeps me very at bay, pretty much at bay. You can see even XRP lower high at the current moment, Solana lower high. A lot of these projects are getting relief, and I get it. And it's great to see this, a nice green day. Everybody should be celebrating, but I am still very skeptical given the fact that we could still be making a confirmation high, a lower high in the immediate short term, suggesting that the trend could be a short-term retracement to the downside. And if that's the case, I'm expecting a further dip in the next little while where we can accumulate at lower levels. Guys, I'm not being bearish here. Just keep this clear. I am actually just looking out for an opportunity. Why? Because a true bull wants to buy as many tokens, as many coins as possible at the cheapest price, and this is what I want to do. Now, if it doesn't happen, unfortunately, I will have a little bit of stable coin to have to deploy later on, and I'm okay with that, because opportunities come and go all the time. But not having dry powder on the side at the just in case at the current moment is a bit risky here, guys, because Bitcoin and the rest of the market, as can be seen, has been showing a bit of froth. Now, of course, SUI today is up 20%, is pretty much one of the best gainers today, and it still hasn't really broken out above its previous high on the hourly time frame. So that's still something to consider. The most bullish behaving top 100 project still didn't make a higher high, and it is within a structure, so something to be considered, right? So you could see even Uniswap a lower high, and as we keep on going down lower highs, the only one is Hyperliquid making a higher high here, up approximately 25.6%, definitely taking full advantage of all the hype that it has behind it. So good stuff there. But again, a lot of good projects. Look at Render, lower high, BGB's on fire, guys. Big Cat tokens on fire. We have Mantle doing pretty good. We have Aave doing okay, going sideways within structure. Caspa getting a bit of relief, but you can see nothing major here. Mantra got a nice pop to the upside, 11.7%. But you get my point. Ultimately, throughout the market, if you keep on scraping through it, a lot of these projects are desperately looking for a real move to break above the previous high. And if it doesn't, guys, that's a sign that the bears are still in control in the short term. So guys, be careful out here. Deploy your capitals nice and slowly, DCA, and that will ensure that you're not trying to catch a bottom, a falling knife, and ultimately being able to accumulate responsibly and effectively with a nice bottom range. Okay, guys, so let's move on. Obviously, guys, you guys are here to talk about price action. So let's begin taking a look at Bitcoin. What's going on with Bitcoin? You see Bitcoin showing a lot of strength, no doubt, tons and tons of strength here on the daily, and the question is, do we start breaking out here for a higher high and maybe even price discovery once again, or is this going to end up being a distribution range where we can get some bulls trapped up in here and basically look for some exit liquidity? Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. So you can see, like, it is a great structure. Ultimately, it is a higher high and higher low scenario, and the daily doesn't even do it that much justice, because really, big picture, there's not that much data necessarily to really make some inferences. But if you get on the 4-hour, it looks a lot better in the sense that you can see that the market is playing games. Ultimately, this right here was a game. Obviously, this wick was lots of volatility and craziness happening there, and we did kind of come down and slightly made that double bottom type of scenario. And really, on this short-term time frame, just focusing on this last dip, on this last retracement, you can see that we're still making lower lows and lower highs, and all of a sudden right now we're testing the previous high. So the question is this: are we going to go into price discovery, or are we going to come down, maybe give ourselves an opportunity to back test right around this level, and then maybe get in on a Adam and Eve pattern? That's an ideal scenario to confirm that this volume right here is support, and that's when I'll be deploying. The trend is your friend, guys, at this point. And it's likely that we see another move to the upside. I will be getting into some long positions, and I will be taking profit at the previous high and on an extension level. Once again, the reason being is because I am not totally convinced that this pump is sustainable. Why? Is because the reality is there's not that much volume into this. We got more volume here than we did into this, and you can see over time, as we consolidate into this zone right here, the volume is getting its peaks and valleys, but it's getting smaller and weaker over time. So that necessarily means that the market participation is not there. And I showed you that the total market cap, in fact, is weakening over time as well. So there's a couple scenarios here, guys. Both bullish and bearish thesis can be applied. I am not deploying capital until I see some sort of structure where I'm bullish, because ultimately I'm already deployed for this leg or this move right here. I'm already stacked up. I want to be able to buy where I buy in, or reaccumulate other projects, or into the same projects to DCA when I'm getting in from a position of strength. Right now, it's not the case. Both on the daily, we're buying a top level, and even now on the 4-hour into this impulse. Congrats if you got into this top and this bottom and you got this pump. But really, what I'm waiting for is a confirmation. I want a confirmation low, a higher low, like I mentioned, or let's dip, come down to some much more lower levels, and get this dip on the daily. The daily dip is what I'm really looking for, guys. This right here, and a reversal structure that eventually paints in this level could take some time, and I'm going to be very patient here. In the meantime, fine, guys, any opportunities, any long opportunities, make sure that you get into a structure where you can put a stop loss in, because the risk you're taking, like I mentioned before, is that it does come down again and tries to tap these lower levels eventually, and it comes down to a much more lower level based on the daily time frame structures. Now, if you start looking at the momentum on the daily is still divergent. It hasn't invalidated it, right? And what's important to understand is that we're making lower lows on the momentum and higher highs on lower lows and lower highs on the momentum, and higher highs and higher lows on the price action. That's class A bearish divergence. Now, some may argue, okay, we're making higher lows here, and obviously, if you start looking at lower time frames, you can start looking for setups even on the 4-hour and so on. And ultimately, this is great, but really, it's the daily time frame that keeps me me on my toes, because we're still in the chop zone. You can see the 4 hour still in the chop zone. I don't see any price action that I'm willing to take as long as we are in the chop zone. In the chop zone, it is hard mode. It is difficult to really feel which direction Bitcoin is going. So the only time frame that I'm comfortable right now in is the daily time frame. And clearly the daily is not giving me a signal to start going into fresh longs yet. EMAs are facing down, red histogram bars. We got this expansion that's a lot weaker. The daily is looking weak, guys, and I don't trust this pump. So I'm going to be very, very reserved with my dry powder and only deploy when I'm happy. And at this point, ultimately, remember, I deployed, I'm scaled in, I am fully packed, my bags are packed. But if you're on the sidelines right now, I understand the emotion. The emotion is that you fear that you're going to be missing out on this pump if it continues going up. And you know what, the reality is, it could move, guys. Nobody knows. Nobody can tell you the future. So this is the important lesson here, is have enough exposure just in case it does continue. However, always have that capital reserved. All right, let's move on. Let's take a look at what's going on with SUI, the project for today. I want to focus on that. And you can see that it's pretty much following Bitcoin's lead. The bullishness, a nice recovery to the upside. Now the question is, does it go up for another higher high, or is it going to consolidate here? Is it going to roll over here? And we can see that there's a bit of a volume gap right in here to offer an opportunity to see this thing come down. Now, is it going to come down? I think the worst case scenario is at about $2.40, maybe slightly lower to hunt liquidity into the zone, $2.20, $2.15. That is also very possible that we fall through here. But if we see signs of strength, which would be a nice flag or continuation of the structure, you can buy the dips at this bottom, put a stop loss underneath, and expect this to be a bull flag and be done with it, right? That's the reality. Now, just keep in mind, this was the previous accumulation range. So there are some people that are in some severe profits at this current moment on SUI. So what are you going to do about that? You have to be careful, because if these individuals start to see a bit of weakness in this market at any given point in time, they will take profit and you will become exit liquidity. So it is very important that you buy in from a healthy risk to reward ratio opportunity from a position of strength. Right now, you're buying the top. Right now, you're buying a breakout. Right now, you're buying into resistance. And it is not the best place to buy. The best place to buy is to find a level where we, again, form some bottoms. This was the last bottom. Do we come down? Why not? Why can't we see this price action come down and consolidate in this zone so that we can DCA properly? It's very possible here, guys. Okay, so keep this in mind. Now, if we go into the 4 hour, we can look at price action. You can see it a little bit better. It is respecting the 4 hour 200 daily EMA on the 4 hour, which looks really, really good. We're still trending to the upside, but at any signs of weakness, we should be very critical and very, very reactive to the price action. So you can see right now from here, this top, right, all of a sudden we diverged and we came down for a dip. Look at this top, where price action is going higher while the momentum, in fact, is coming lower. So this is another class A bearish divergence right into here. Let's make this a little bit more accurate. You can see that, and you could probably see it a little bit better maybe on the daily, clearly. A lot clearly more clear here on the daily class A bearish divergence. And you can see the expansion right here is a lot smaller, and you can see this expansion on the trend line is a lot smaller. And you can see that, generally speaking, guys, we could go up for another higher high. In fact, we could slowly slowly grind upwards and maintain this trajectory while we see this divergence continue moving down, and then all of a sudden we get the follow through. We take the stairs up and we take the elevator down. I'm not saying that we should be bearish here. What I'm saying is the risk you're taking right now, being overly bullish, is that we see this momentum, the purple line, at least come down to the chop zone, and at worst case get oversold as it has done in the past, and we come down for a bigger dip than expected. First target for me is at about, again, $2.30 more or less, and then ultimately, if we can hold the $3.26 level, that would be absolutely epic for SUI, right? Obviously, holding that level, consolidating around there, getting that support, and then ultimately buying the dip would be great. So let me kind of make this TA a little bit better. This area is interesting to me. This area is not as interesting. So what I'm going to do is bring this down and reuse some of this. I want to get rid of this, right? We're going to clean this up right now, and we're going to put a volume gap box right into here to identify this opportunity if it does come down. And then what we're going to do is put a arrow right into here to suggest that if we come down here, this is a level that I'm absolutely interested, unless we form a structure here where we can flag out and put a stop loss in unless that. But then again, if we break through this volume gap, the next opportunity is down here at $2.35, and obviously guys, that's where I would be slamming some buy orders right into the zone just in case. And ultimately, we've gotten great volume to the upside, and again, ultimately there's going to be some people that want to take profit as well. So guys, take it easy, ensure you have some dry powder, ensure that you're ready for any retracements in the immediate short term. I wouldn't be buying tops, I wouldn't be buying pumps, we buy bottoms. Nice rounded bottoms is what we look for, and then we hold all the way up and we slowly de-risk out of our profitable positions to ensure that we protect those gains. Guys, if I've offered you any value here, do the channel a massive favor, slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. See you tonight at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.